My name is Craig Boschman. I'm the broadcaster and communications director for the Penticton Vees. Up here near the podium with me, we've got Fred Harbinson, who is the head coach, general manager, and president of the Vees. We also have David Michaud, the director of corporate sponsorships and partnerships for the Vees, and also Massimo Rizzo, who just finished up his first year with the Penticton Vees. As mentioned in both the press release and the social media post, we have a lot of stuff to cover, not only on the hockey side, but also the business side here at this press conference. Some of the topics on the hockey side that we're going to talk about is a new contract extension for Fred, which runs through the 2023-24 BCHL season. Also, the announcement of Massimo Rizzo as the captain for the 2018-19 season. And a few other player commitments for the upcoming season. Fred will come up to discuss all these topics at length, and we'll also have Massimo come up and say a couple of words as well. On the business side, David Michaud will come up and to recap the attendance figures from this past season. They continue to grow year after year, and we all know that they set the attendance record in the CJHL history this past season. He's also going to be discussing season ticket prices for this upcoming season, as well as a brand new community initiative to get the team even more involved with the community in Penticton and the surrounding areas. So to kick things off, we'll get Fred up here to sort of recap the 2017-18 season.
Thanks, Craig. Just kind of like our season there, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there as far as getting things figured out, but which is too bad. The guys put a lot of work into it. I know Westy's sweating over there, thinking that we're announcing his movement out of the organization. You're fine. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so you know what? As far as our season goes, we talk about just kind of a little closure here to the year. We do this every year. Probably the first word that comes to mind would be frustrating a little bit. Just in the fact that when we started, training camp, Massimo, Grant Cruikshank, a couple guys weren't even available for training camp due to injuries, and it just kind of went like that from basically the first month of the season on, and it just kind of continued on, and it sounds like you got to be careful because you don't want to sound like you're whining or complaining or making excuses, because they're definitely not doing that at all. It's just one of those things. You do this long enough, and we've had a great run here over a lot of years, and we still did a lot of special things this year. So it's not like we had a poor season, or that our players should be disappointed in what they accomplished. It was just one of those things where there's certain things you just can't control, and I think like I've said, it was well documented this year. The season before, I think we had 70-some man games lost to injury. This year, we were just about shy at 300, just shy of 300. So it's something that I had never experienced in my 24 years of coaching. But you know what? It makes you better. It makes you stronger. It makes the players that went through it, to appreciate the time they have when they play. It makes us as a coaching staff even more aware of things that maybe we weren't aware of before going into the next year. And but like I said, I still think we did a lot of great things. Unfortunately, we had a slide that showed how many players committed the NCAA commitments again this year. It was just an outstanding year for the amount of players that are moving on to further their career and get an education doing it and growing as people. And we raised a couple more banners. And when you talk about the banners that have been raised here, clearly you want to win championships, and we'll get into that. But it was still special. If every year, if you only gauge a successful year on the times that you win a trophy, then there'd be a lot of really disappointed seasons when you think about it. So, as far as the off ice goes, Dave will talk about it more in length. But I mean, again, it was amazing what was done by all of you and the whole community, from the corporate sponsors to the season ticket holders, to the people the groups that came on every given night. And clearly a lot of people put a lot of effort into developing those nights and making it a special experience for our players. As far as why, like last Sunday, me and Graham sat down. It's something we'd been working on for a while, and talking about an extension and kind of what our plan was. And for me, I always get asked, when are you going to leave? What, why aren't you going to move on, or why aren't you moving on, or whatever it is. And for me, it's pretty simple. It's I've said this, I've used this line a million times, that success is something. It's not an accident. It's something that you have a choice. You have a choice if you want to be successful. And our ownership group, led by Graham and Sue Fraser, they choose to be successful in everything they do. And they're not in the business of winning. They're in the people business. And so for me, it's important to tie yourself with those kind of people. And I think they don't get enough credit. It's something that you have to really get to know them and understand how special a thing that they've developed here, allowing me to stay here as long as I have over the 11 years, and then of course the group that are with me on a day-to-day basis. It's a great atmosphere. It's a fun atmosphere that we've developed here on our staff. 11 years ago, I came here, and I was going through shooting through some stuff, and I put a package together at the time of what I wanted to accomplish, what I wanted to do with this team, and and I kept it, obviously. And you look at it year to year, and so on my vision, it's I have the sheet right here. It says, create a dynasty, a perennial contender, Vees team of choice, play high tempo, entertaining hockey, make winning the cup in Penticton a tradition, and keep the rink full by making the Penticton Vees the team of choice. When you look at that, our detractors, a lot of people could poke holes in what we've done or what we haven't done in their perception. But when you talk about creating a dynasty of perennial contenders, we've raised 24 banners in the last 11 years. And this is not taking a shot at anybody else, but the next closest is 16. And that team that has 16 hasn't put a banner up in 7 years. So we've done a lot of great things over this time as far as winning. 193 playoff games. There's only 5 teams in the league that have played over 100. So there's a lot of special things as far as winning. Vees team of choice. Right now, this guy sitting right here is a great example, team of choice. A lot of different options for these players nowadays. The Western Hockey League is a great route. The USHL is a great route. There's many different teams in our league that are great options. But now players like Massimo, Tyson Jost, Dante Fabro, and on and on and on. Some of the new ones coming through, Cole Shepard. Some of the elite players in the country in North America look at playing in Penticton first before they look anywhere else. As far as our style of play, as I mentioned, I think we've always been a fun team to watch. We're going to continue to do that in the future, and we'll touch on that in a bit. As far as winning goes, 4 cups. We would have loved to win another one this year. You know that. I hope you know that. And just, it's a great league. Right now, in my 11 years in this league, we've had 9 teams, 9 times, 9 of the 11 years, there's been a team from the interior division representing our league at the Royal Bank Cup. So when I always talk about how strong our division is, it's not just lip service. And then keeping the rink full, again, that's on you guys. You guys have done, and our staff. My staff has done an outstanding job of making it fun and exciting and energetic in the building. And then you guys as fans have taken that to another level. It's a big reason why players like Massimo play here. And it's something that, you should be real proud of. I think, so in my time here, I think we've developed a legacy of winning here. It's been part of the community. It's a tradition. It's something that we take a lot of pride in. So again, when you talk about all those things, I'm sure people, the question is always asked, well, then what else is there for you to accomplish? Why aren't you moving on? It's very hard to explain, but when you talk to, I've had teams approach or people from teams approach me, you'd be surprised at these so-called higher levels, and this is not something, I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but some of these teams don't have the same views or philosophies that we have, and it means a lot to me. I feel that I'm at a place in my life now at 46 years old that I've earned the right to align myself with which I have with our ownership that has the same philosophical ideas and commitment to development of players and treating people professionally and of course a byproduct of that is winning. But you'd be surprised when I've talked to other organizations when they've come to me and just to pick pick their brain on what their views are, and you'd be surprised at and it makes me realize at my age how fortunate we are, all of us, but myself, my family, are at the support, all the way through from the top to the bottom, from every, we always get teased in our league about how big our staff is, and that's a testament to our ownership for allowing us to have that kind of staff here. And at the same time, you guys can see that you're not getting strapped with the cost of it. He's finding ways to do it where you guys still get the cheapest ticket in town, and you're not paying for big salaries or anything like that. You're still getting a great product here at a cheap price, and he's taking the brunt of the expense on his back. It's something that I really, I really admire that in him, and that's why I want to continue to work for him and work for you guys. So, in saying that, Graham and Sue have given me and my family everything I can ask for. Obviously, the support emotionally and financially, and we have a great lifestyle here. That's why we want to stay here. I get an opportunity to work in a beautiful environment here in a town that's that the energy in the entire city for our team, as you can see today, is outstanding. I get to work with amazing players like Massimo, and I know James Miller and Jack Barnes are in the room here tonight too. Like all those kind of players that have had many different options to go elsewhere, have decided this is where we all want to be. Moving forward now, as far as the future goes, it looks like we have probably about 11 returning players, so it's going to be, I think another real good year that way. We've got some great recruits. Recruiting's going well. With the unfortunate early dismissal that we had in the playoffs, gave us a little more time to really dig into recruiting. We've been going hard since the day we lost out. We've been going. We haven't stopped. We have a camp coming up in about 2 weeks here that'll kind of be the final pieces of our recruiting, and by that time, hopefully we'll be able to kind of tone down a little bit and take a little breather and then get ready to do it all again. As far as our assistant captains go, we're going to announce 2 of them today, and then we'll be announcing 2 later in the fall when the guys show up for training camp. Ryan Sandlin and Cassidy Bowes will both be assistant captains this year for us. They're both great players, hard-nosed players, both players that unfortunately Cassidy missed the playoffs there with an injury. He's had surgery. He's actually having another one coming up. Ryan played with an injury, and he'll be 100% healthy. Both will be ready to help lead, in the fall here come training camp. When you talk about our captain, I think our organization's done a great job of developing leaders. Again, you could see that this year in the NCAA. I think we had 4 more guys get named captains to their NCAA teams. In my time here, Brett Hextall, Denver Manderson, Derek Johnson, Logan Johnson, Troy Stetcher, Brad McClure, Patty Sexton, Cody DePork, Tyson Jost, Nick Jones, Owen Sillinger, Grant Cruikshank. All different types of players, different types of people, but all kind of had the same traits when it comes to they were players that believed in our culture, believed in what we were trying to accomplish here. They were great extensions of our coaching staff. They weren't afraid to make others accountable, each in their own different ways. They were always accountable to the way we wanted things done. They played their role, and again, Patty Sexton played a lot different than Denver Manderson and Tyson Jost, and then they were all strong in the community. They understand what it means to be a Penticton V, what it means to lead this team, and the final piece of it, they all came from great families, and I think that's we try to really instill a family orientation around our program, and it's fun working with these young men and the ability to do that again. And again, I just want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart, from my family, to give me the opportunity. It's kind of crazy. 11 years have gone by, and I guess you're stuck with me for another 6. But in saying that, you know what, the players are what matter, and we've got a great one sitting here. And I want to introduce our captain for the next season here, Massimo Rizzo.
That seed's gonna look awfully good on your jersey this season.
You know, I just want to say I'm very honored and humbled to be named captain. Just to see not only the captains but the players who have came through this program in the past. It's a special thing and something I'm very grateful for. I've learned a lot from the leadership groups in the past, and you know, with that being said, I'm very excited with the group of guys we have coming in for next season, and I'm looking forward to leading them to a championship.
All right, so thank you, Fred. Congratulations to you and Massimo as well. And now, as mentioned off the top, we'll get David Michaud up to discuss some of the business side of this past season and also this upcoming season as well, and a special check presentation as well.
Maybe not quite as exciting, but I'm coming back next year too, so. You know, this crowd always blows me away when we get an opportunity to do these sort of things. 30 degrees outside on a summer day, and you guys come here to talk hockey with us, so we're certainly appreciative of that. You know, when we look back at the season, you know, we set a goal back in the fall that we wanted to set a CJHL record for attendance, and that mark was something that we came really painfully close to the year before. We finished just under 3,000 fans, and with the great work of Laura Carlton and, you know, really everyone in the entire organization with the SOEC as well, we developed a plan and we set it in motion, and thankfully at the end of the day, you know, you guys as the fans responded and filled our building night after night. And I can't tell you, you know, how much it means to us as an organization, but also the players. You know, Fred touched on it. It's one thing that I think really differentiates our program from others. When you look at it, the fact that we average over 3,000 fans in a league that, you know, the average attendance is about 1,000, I think that shows how special our fan base and our community really is. You know, so a part of that is the community. You know, we believe as the Penticton Vees that we are Penticton's team. We belong to you guys. Fred, you know, is the captain of that ship right now, and we're all stewards on it, trying to do the best job possible for this city to make you guys proud and to make you want to come back to the rink every single night. The one thing I love about this facility is whether you're a suite holder or you're a family on a real conscious budget, we have something that we can offer for you. And it's a beautiful building that we're all very spoiled to call home. But that's one thing that I'm really proud of, is that it doesn't matter where you are, you have the availability to come through the front doors and take in Penticton Vees hockey, and that's something that we're continuing to strive to be able to deliver that value for you. If you look at our average ticket price across the BCHL, with our season membership program, we're the most affordable ticket in the entire league. And as Fred sort of touched on with some of the players that have come through here over his 11 years, I don't think there'd be very many fans that would question the value that they're receiving for that. So one of the things I'm very excited to announce today, I think one of the biggest game changers for our program was the introduction of the Peter Brothers promotion for kids 18 and under to be able to come in and watch Vees hockey. And we're proud to announce that Peter Brothers is going to continue that promotion with us. Really for the foreseeable future. So we're very excited about that. It's something that they're very proud to be associated with. And, you know, for us, I just think it makes all the difference in the world. Every single year that program has been in existence, you know, the numbers have risen steadily with the number of young people that have been able to come and watch. And let's face it, for selfish reasons, we want those young guys to become fans and keep this legacy going. So if we can get them in the building at a young age and get them excited about coming out to our games, then we're going to be better for it down the road. And, hopefully for mom and dad, it makes the decision just a little bit easier to come and spend a Friday night with us. So as Fred touched on, when it comes to our season ticket pricing for next year, we're proud to announce as well there'll be absolutely no changes to the price structure. They'll remain exactly the same. For us, when Laura and I sat down last summer, one of our goals was to find a way to make it as affordable as possible for everyone, and we came up with our membership program where, if fans weren't in a position to give us $600 or $700 or $800 out of their pocket immediately, that they could make monthly payments. And I think that's something that went over extremely well. Just from a logistics standpoint, everything went absolutely great. So we're a strong believer, if it isn't broke, why fix it? So that program will be back, and we're excited about the way that's developed for us. So when I touch on community, you have to understand that, when our players come to town, they're 16 to 20 years old, and most of them are not from Penticton. And, from Graham and Sue right down to Fred to us, involvement in the community is just of paramount importance. So I'm proud to announce that the Vees donated just shy of 400 hours of community service work inside of the community last year at events from elementary school visits where they'll read with the youngsters and go play with them in the gym to Project Onsite Drug Prevention Program, where a few of our players went down to the Lower East Side in Vancouver and got to experience that. 3 skates with the Vees, where numerous families and kids come out to participate in that. And then the usual Penticton staples like the Peach Fest party on the plaza, the Tim Hortons drive-through, as well as the United Way breakfast as well. And this season, we proudly partnered with Castanet and IGA to do a food drive at IGA. So, I think sometimes what gets lost on maybe the fans and I think that Sunday that we were at IGA, we were in Trail the night before, and the guys roll in at 2, 3 in the morning, and at 9 a.m. they're at these events with a smile on, win or lose. So, I know for the most part our fans understand that and appreciate that, but I think that takes a lot of real fortitude from some young guys, and I think that they're certainly better served for that as they go on in life. One of the partnerships that we created a few years back was with Gateway Casinos, where they kindly, generously donated $20 for every time the Vees scored a goal on home ice. And this season, we're proud to announce that it was $2,740 that goes to the South Okanagan Medical Foundation. In the 3-year total of that campaign, it raised $8,600 for right here in our community. I added it up. If Riz hadn't hit the post those few times, we could have got to 9,000, but close enough. So it's been a 3-year partnership with the South Okanagan Medical Foundation that we're awfully excited about, and equally excited, I guess, to announce that beginning next season, that's going to continue on. But with the new benefactor, it's going to be the Yes Project that's going to receive those funds moving forward as we build a youth center here in this community, which will be something special. And it's one of our mandates to get our players involved with that as well. So we'll have exciting details on that as the off season sort of unfolds. We'll do a check presentation in a minute. I want to make sure the Medical Foundation gets their money here from Gateway before we wrap up. But I guess probably the most exciting initiative that we're proud to launch here this off season, really is a brainchild of Graham and Sue, who sort of enabled Fred and I to put our thinking caps on and figure out a way that we could be even more involved in the community. The reality is, as we said, if the community doesn't support us, we don't have an organization. So Graham made it his mandate that he wanted to figure out a plan to give back to the community as much as possible. So today we're proud to announce the creation of the Penticton Vees Community Heroes Program. each game. We have 28 home games throughout the season. A minimum donation of $1,000 will be provided to a local charitable group. And for us, that's an important number. That means $28,000 by the time the end of the season comes is going to go back to community groups in this community and enable them to hopefully do the good things that they continue to do. So we'll be launching, some more information with that as to how groups can access those funds and apply to access them, which is something that we're really thrilled about. I personally am going to make it a mandate to get more corporate partners involved to see if we can't drive that number up even higher, whether it's a game-by-game basis or a case-by-case basis. But our minimum commitment will be $28,000 for next season. So thank you. So I guess without further ado, let's present a big check and get the pictures, and then I believe Fred and Massimo will be available for comments and interviews after, and for the fans, by all means, pictures and autographs and all that fun stuff. So I'd like to recognize Michael Magnuson and Lauren Zucchiati from Great Way Casinos, and John Morehouse and Casey Braun from the South Okanagan Medical Foundation.